So my man Ben Shapiro is about to go live in 30 minutes with a video that's titled Hunter Biden Said the N-Word, episode 1272. So I'm going to circumvent his video and jump in front of his video and make a comment about whatever he's going to talk about. I don't know what his video is going to be about, what he's going to say rather, but I do know what he's talking about. So basically, some text messages that are believed to be from Hunter Biden. We don't know if they are or they aren't, but that is the belief. There's not really much reason necessarily to be bringing that out now. I mean, after the election, before the election, we get it, right? We get what the games that they were playing, but now, not really that much of an incentive. So, I mean, that doesn't say it's definitely legit, but just something to think about. But regardless, so in this text message, basically you see Hunter Biden talking all gangsta, right? So he's saying things like, I'm not literally quoting him, but this is how he's speaking. We got to get this nigga. Yeah, this is you my nigga, man. Yeah, this look, he's saying nigga the way that some people use the word in terms of the hip hop culture, whatever. Now, me personally, I don't believe anyone should be using the N word, nigga or nigger. I mean, nigga is basically nigger said with an accent, right? People wouldn't like if to say the word nigger, like we don't. The er is not pronounced. I mean, in terms of in general, ers are in slang or whatever. It's like right? So the fact that this word is coming from a racial slur, the idea of repurposing it and using it as a friendly greeting, I mean, think about all the other racial slurs. So there's like, for example, spics, for example. Imagine if they came up with a slang word and it's like speaker or something, you know what I mean? And you're walking around, what up, my speaker? And then you have this whole thing of, because I'm Latino, I can use it, even though it's coming from a racial word, a racial slur. But I'm a Latino, so I'm allowed to use a racial slur derived word. But if you're not a Latino, you can't. I mean, it's stupid, right? I don't use the N word, either version of it, and I don't believe anyone should be using it, no matter how you look. It's it's a racial slur, right? And I understand the idea of repurposing a word and using it for a different thing. Words have different meanings. Gay could mean happy or it could mean homosexual. Understood. But regardless of how you're using it or what you mean when you use it, the fact of the matter is the word that you're using comes from a racial slur. All right? I wouldn't want to take a swastika and like change the colors and like bend it a certain way and then make it my logo. And then I'm like, oh, but it's not a swastika. I mean, it's derived from a swastika, but I've changed it up. It's now a swash. It's a swash now, right? And swash means love and happiness and whatever. Swastika is something completely different now, and I denounce that, right? But also, certain people can't use my symbol. Like, what? Anyway, regardless. So no one should be using the word, but it is used in certain cultures as it's like dude, what up, nigga, what up, dude, same thing. That seems to be the context in which Hunter Biden is using it. Now, the way some of these stories have been framed, they make it sound like he's using it in a racial context. But I looked at the text messages and I don't see anything like that. He's not saying, I hate these niggas. He's not even talking about people, minorities or anything like that. He's just having a conversation that has nothing to do with anyone, person of color or whatever. It's just he's using the word nigga again the way that people would use as a slang or whatever. And it's real like ghetto type of and like the conversation he's having. He's talking about his penis, how big his penis, and he's talking to his lawyer. It's like, what are you talking about your penis and nigga this, nigga that? Like, what is going on, bro? Anyway, so Is Ben Shapiro going to make this a thing about, oh, he's using racial slurs and see, this is proof that the Democrats are racist? I mean, if he does that, that would make him be just like, an Al Sharpton or an MSNBC or, the classic race baiters, which he likes to call out. Is he going to take that approach? Is he actually going to legitimately try to make it look like Hunter Biden was saying something racist? And again, like I said, I don't believe anybody should be using it, but he's using it in the same context that it's accepted in certain circles. I mean, people have their different views, but in general, in certain areas culturally, even somebody that looks like Hunter Biden, can get away with saying that. I think Eminem might be an example. I believe he says that. But I mean, that's a culture thing that in some circles it's allowed outside of the community, whatever you want to call it. I don't really get into that stuff, but that's how he's using it. So does Ben Shapiro try to spin it in that direction, or does he report on it as it actually is, like how it's actually used? And why is Ben Shapiro even interested in this story? Dozens and dozens of stories have come out about the Capitol attack, about police officers arrested, active duty and retired military arrested. I mean, this is that's an insane thing to think that we have active duty military people that attack the Capitol. That would be a huge story. I mean, for somebody who's all about the Constitution and patriots and blah. I mean, the idea that an active duty military betrayed his oath and attacked the Capitol. Why would Ben Shapiro not be interested in reporting on that? But he wants to talk about Biden's son using the word nigga. Really? Not interested in Matt Gaetz, his good buddy, in jail for child sex trafficking. Not interested in talking about that. Not interested in all of the Republicans that have been charged and arrested for either sex-related crimes or drugs. I did a story. There was a ton of them. Not interested in that, right? And these are actual people that we're paying with our tax dollars who are in our government. I mean, anyone who's a patriot should be very, very interested in that kind of stuff. I mean, knowing that we have people in our government who sex crimes and all this kind of stuff are getting charged. There are people, even people who were involved in voter fraud, like legit stuff. How could any patriot not be interested in that kind of stuff? This goes against the Constitution, right? To have people in government doing these types of things. I mean, if you want to be, flag waving and I'm an American, whatever, patriot, we love this country, unlike those Democrats, and then you have no interest in major attacks against our country and major issues with our government and betrayal of the Constitution, betrayal of oaths. I mean, it makes you really wonder, is Ben Shapiro just a character, right? Is he just playing a character on TV just to get views and money? Or does he really have any kind of ethics, or does he stand for anything other than getting more views, more money, more fame? You really got to wonder about that. But anyway, you guys can go take a look at Ben Shapiro's video, see what he has to say about Hunter Biden saying the nigga word. I will end on this note. While I mock the fake interest in Hunter Biden by right-wingers, I also mock the lack of interest by the left-leaning media into Hunter Biden. This is the president's son. What the president does is far more important than what his son does, but it's the president's son. Right? It's definitely very valid and newsworthy. And for you not to have any interest in the president's son, in crack and maybe selling access to the president, I mean, that Burisma thing, the Hunter, the laptop. I mean, if this was Donald Trump's son, they know they will be all over it. Right? What does that say about the character of a lot of these left-leaning journalists, so-called journalists? Now, you don't have any interest in just insane amounts of scandal. You have no interest in that just because it's Biden's son. Can you imagine Trump Jr., Trump's wife, anybody associated with Trump, they will be all over it. They'll have so much interest, multiple videos. Oh, we got more. Another thing, the recording came out. Trump Jr. Blah blah blah. What if it was Cruz's son? What if it was